morning and welcome to Trail Grazers, where we focus on good food on the trail. And today we're going on the trail in our car. We're going to be doing a car trip to the San Rafael Swell. For those of you who have never heard of the San Rafael Swell, it is a phenomenal geological phenomenon along I-70, which is where we're going to be driving. Our road will take us first of all to I-15 north, as if we were going to Salt Lake City. Then when we come to I-70, which goes due east, we will take 70 and head east. Then we're going to go northeast on State Highway 10 to Price, Utah, where we are going to be picking up some cabinet doors for these cabinets right over here that still remain doorless. We have had really a terrible time with our kitchen remodel, and sometime I'll talk about it, but I'm still too, what shall I say?
Growly.
Growly. Still too burned about what has happened. We were promised about 3 weeks. It's now into 8 months. Anyway, that aside, we're going to pick up those doors, and while we're at it, we're going to bypass Highway 10 and stay on I-70 for a side trip down into the San Rafael Swell. So I want to give you a heads up a little bit about what the swell is. And I'm going to do a little demonstration that I often do used to do when I worked, which I no longer do, about how the San Rafael Swell and other things formed. And it's all about how layers are formed. So, Jim, we're just using my GoPro camera in natural light. So the San Rafael Swell was formed by layer upon layer upon layer of sandstone, limestone, shale, mostly sandstone. It is part of the Colorado Plateau. We live on the Colorado Plateau, which is a beautiful place. And so it has Navajo sandstone, Wingate sandstone, and other formations as well. When any kind of sedimentary rock is laid down, it is laid down fairly flat. It's in the bottom of streams, it's wind events, and I'm going to be using some towels to represent layers of sand. So Jim will probably need to back up. But so here is now these layers of sand. These layers of sedimentary rock are just laid down one on top of each other, and gravity makes them pretty flat. They're not perfectly flat, but these will be as a representation. And they're all different colors, and layers are different thicknesses. And over eons of time, it just builds up and gets very, very heavy. And then what happened in this particular location, the basement rock uplifted, and I'm going to use this bowl and slide it under these layers to show how this happened. So here's this dome right here of sedimentary rock, mostly sandstone. And you can see the colors of the different layers are now deformed into this dome-like shape. Well, once this dome-like shape came up, and there are crinkles and wrinkles as it uplifts. And then what happened is, with wind and water coming across the top, this was eroded into valleys and canyons and gorges and mesas, buttes, badlands. And it is, well, let me read this to you from one of the articles that I read about the San Rafael Swell. The harsh elements beat against this dome and eroded it into a wild, broken array of multicolored sandstone. Wind and water carved this jumble of rock into incredible formations, those that I have just mentioned, making the swell one of the most ruggedly beautiful pockets of terrain in the world. And it truly is. It is about 45 miles wide and 75 miles long. And I-70 transects it along its long plane. And so we get to drive through the San Rafael Swell for many miles. We won't be doing the whole thing today. We're going to go through until there are some really good vistas. There's a particular rest area and viewpoint that allows us some really wonderful views. This is all in Emery County, Utah, on the eastern side of Utah, and we'll be able to see amazing formations, mostly sandstone. That area of Utah is called Castle Country because these great big mesas and buttes are reminiscent of castles. So I'm really looking forward to showing you this place that I just love. It's my favorite place along I-70. In terms of food for today, I've packed us some lunches in our little Bent-Go boxes. I made a fresh batch of B-Rocks yesterday, and Jim has 2, and I have 1 in the bottom container. And then we have carrot strips and tomatoes, and then some little packets of salt and pepper. For snacks, I have some dehydrated apples from 2016, and some freeze-dried fruit that we did on a recent video for this channel. Tonight, we're going to have dinner with my brother and his wife, my brother Bob and his wife, Linda. They live in Price, which is our destination. We're staying in a hotel tonight. We'll pick up our cabinet doors and then head home and be back tomorrow. So welcome to this trip, and I'll see you out there on the road. We just took the exit for Beaver, Utah. We are attempting to find the Creamery, which is a cheese place that they make a lot of cheese in Utah. And so this is a place where they have updated and have a brand new building as of about 3 or 4 years ago. And they make the best ice cream, so I think Jim wants some ice cream. I may have a little bit, and we're going to find a place and have our lunch and then a little bit of ice cream here in Beaver. Well, here we are. We're at a little table sitting outside. It's very cool in the shade here. Jim, hi Jim.
Hi, how you doing?
Jim is opening his lunch with his B-Rocks and carrots and tomatoes, and here's mine. And we've got utensils and salt and pepper and background music. How lucky can we get? He said that it's very crowded in there, but we're going to go check it out. He says it might take more than an hour to wait for ice cream. So I'm not sure we're going to do that. So here, let's go in and just check it out. So there is the line for ice cream, and we are not going to wait on that. But all kinds of cheese. Squeaky cheese over here. When you eat it, it squeaks with your teeth. Here's the story of the Creamery in there. All kinds of gifts. And Jim, hey, I found my treasure. Yes, I agree. There's way too long of a line for ice cream.
People, maybe 3.
Yeah.
So it's...
So here is the squeaky cheese up close. Oh, here's the squeaky cheese.
cheddar cheese, then we could do one of those. $14 per 12-ounce bag. No. I'm unwilling to do that.
Okay, so we're going to hit the road.
I should cut the side of my face off.
Make the turn onto I-70 toward Capitol Reef National Park, which we won't go that far. And we're turning on I-70 toward Denver around this curve, and we are now heading east. And the swell is, the San Rafael Swell is about between 50 and 70 miles from where we are right now. I need to see a mile marker and then I can tell you. Oh, exit 1. Oh, that's right. I-70 originates right here. So we're nearly 70 miles. So we'll come back when the scenery starts looking like the San Rafael Swell. We just passed Highway 10, which is our road heading up to Price. So we are now going to be going into the swell in just a few minutes. Here we go. You can begin to see why this is called Castle Country. Huge formations. You can see the different layers. And it just stretches out and beyond. Coming up on some large formations to our right, to the right of the highway. And more interesting ones over there to the left. More great big old mesas over there. Green River is on the far side of the swell, and we just passed a mile sign that says that Green River is 60 miles. So we're a little ways into the swell right now.
And Denver is 404.
You can clearly see the stacking of the layers on that formation. This is pretty spectacular right here. And looking out over the swell in that direction, you can see all the jumble of different formations that we talked about this morning when we were still at home. Let's take this view area.
So is that the one you want to stop at?
That's one of them. So we're about to stop at a view area. Jim's car is suggesting that it's time for the driver to rest. Smart aleck car. So we're going to stop at Salt Wash View area here. And I don't know that we've ever stopped at this one before. There's a big one a little farther on that will be probably our turnaround place.
Yeah, we have been here before.
Oh, we have been here before. I recognize it now.
Yep.
We should get some good views up here. It is just spectacularly beautiful. Some Native American wares here. Pretty stuff. Should we walk down here a little ways?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
So you can get amazing views of the swell from up here. People standing pretty close to the edge. A little scary for me. But I'm going to walk up to the edge a little bit.
Here's a real good illustration of what you did this morning.
Oh, okay. Wow. Jim, of course, is more daring than I am.
I could kind of see if I can float.
That's close enough, honey. Beautiful place. Jim says there's an illustration of what I showed you this morning up here. Let's go check it out. Aha, there is. So these are the older ones laid down first. Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. You are here. So that's good to know. We're at about 6,000 feet. Green River is over here. So this is the syncline, and then it dips into an anticline right here. It's a great illustration. Back on the road?
Back on the road.
Here we are at the other view area. This is a different part of the south side of the swell. You can certainly see the layers right over there. We were just looking on the map, and it looks like we may have to go clear to clear to Green River before we can turn back around and go the other way. We'll see. The other side is spectacular as well, and we wanted to show you that one.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can walk up here to get a better view of what's on the other side of the highway. And then if we can, maybe what we can do is we'll cross over whenever we can and stop and get a good view again of the other swell, or the other part of the swell. Okay. That's a different view of it. So it stretches all the way out like that. Again, as we look north, I think, again, we can see all the way out and then back across. We've got clouds covering the valley out there. And like I said, what we'll try to do is see if we can get a better shot across the highway and in a little bit.
I am so excited. We found a little county road that's off the freeway, just a little ways from the view stop, and we are taking the back way into Price right through the middle of the San Rafael Swell. So this is the north side of the swell. Jim gave you a good description from up there. We had no idea this was here. We're on an adventure. Well, obviously this is a road a lot of big trucks use. Whoa, that's the third one.
It's another one coming.
Well, this is coal country, so that's what they're moving probably. Go, Jim, go.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's get going.
We're going to drop fast. Look, it's an 8% descent.
That's a pretty good sized descent.
down into the swell. Woohoo! Here we are, right down in it. Big mesa in front of us. We're driving up the hypotenuse of a triangle. Once we intersect with Highway 10, we will be out of the swell, and that's coming up in just a few miles. Well, this is a fun road. A little bumpy. All right, we'll see you shortly. We are now on our way home. We had a nice night at the motel, and a lovely dinner with my brother and his wife last night. Everybody was pretty tired, so we're usually pretty lively, but it wasn't too lively last night. In any case, we're on Highway 10, and we are heading toward I-70. We are in the part of Utah. We just left Carbon County and we're in Emery County, but this is dinosaur country, oil and gas country. Some nice cliffs there in the background. We have about 50 miles to go before we hit I-70 and home. Once we get home, we will lay out the cabinet doors. They won't be installed, but that way you can see them. We were quite pleased with them. So we will see you when we get home. Here we are home again. Wow, what a whirlwind trip. Just a little bit better than a day and a half up and back. I hope you really enjoyed your quick trip through the San Rafael Swell, but I wanted to show you the whole purpose of the trip, besides seeing the San Rafael Swell, was to pick up our cabinet doors. Now, our cabinet maker, the subcontractor of our contractor who redid our kitchen, really let us down on the cabinets that he did for us. It was too much to go into right now, but we fired him relative to these cabinet doors because he didn't know how to match the wood. Well, we found someone in Price who did a phenomenal job. So here they are right here. Are these just beautiful? They're just leaning up against the cabinet because they are not installed. But you've seen our kitchen many times and know what a good match these are to what we already have. We are thrilled with these, and we have a friend who is going to come and install the doors next week, so we can't wait. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you out there on the trail.